Maybe we can start by talking a little bit about sort of what your perspective is on mental health. It's obviously a very popular idea, and it's something, that's become a real part of our modern consciousness. But the challenges of mental wellness have been around since as long as humans have been around, if not earlier. Can you talk a little bit about sort of how you see this sort of mental health situation that we find ourselves in?
See, both physical health and mental health have always been a part of human existence. And if we pay attention, has always been a part of every other life's, life also. I'm saying every other mammal at least. If not, I don't know if the worms and insects have mental health issues, but I'm sure they have physical health issues. So what I see is if they have physical health, they also have mental health issues. It is just that as human beings, we are slowly becoming more of mind than body, so our focus on mental health is more, gradually shifting from physical health to mental health. Physical health was a big issue when nourishment was a challenge and, scarcity of food and shelter and things like that. Now those things, to a large part of the population at least, unfortunately still significant population is left out of that, but at least for the large part of the population, what is needed for physical health is largely taken care of, but we are still not having physical health. America spends nearly $3.5 trillion on healthcare. That shows even physical health has not manifested as it should in an affluent society, because essentially affluence means that initially we are seeking choice of nourishment, and once that is taken care of, we are looking at choice of lifestyles. With both these things achieved, if there is so much ill health, obviously we are doing something fundamentally wrong. Why, when you're asking me a question about mental health, I'm talking about physical health is, in my perception, I don't separate mind and body, because what you call as mind is a certain combination of memory and intelligence. Tell me one cell in your body which doesn't carry memory. Tell me one cell in your body which is not intelligent. It is doing tremendously intelligent things every moment of our life. Things that we can never figure in our brains, our cells are doing, isn't it? Every one of them. And memory-wise, how your forefathers looked a million years ago, still even your epithelial cells still remember the skin tone. They have not forgotten a thing. So both memory and intelligence is at a phenomenal level in every cell in the body. So we don't see mind as and body as two separate things. It is just that there is a physical body and there is a mental body. Or we can put it this way in modern terminology, there is hardware and there is software. If the hardware is corrupted, there is no way the software will run well. If the software is corrupted, the hardware will not run well. This is well understood. So having said that, there are, for present focus on mental health, there are genetic issues with people, there are social issues, and there are individual issues, of course, of thought and emotion going out of control. So when we say genetic, we can say somebody is pathologically, designed in a certain way that some things are off. And those things may look particularly off if they're living in certain type of societies. In certain other societies, those things may be just looked at as, okay, that's how he is, kind of thing. But in some societies where everything is straight-jacketed, that person may look totally odd and sticking out, and he cannot be in that society, he must be locked up somewhere. It'll come to that. So genetic aspects can be overcome. Today, you're in the science, I'm not the person to tell you, but today we know this, but in the yogic sciences, we have always seen it this way. I have been saying this to people, give yourself to me for 24 hours, I will see that your genetics have no influence on you. You can be away from that. If you do certain things with yourself, genetics are there, but you can be away from that. Today I think they're using some term as epigenetics or whatever, you can How you use your genetic information is your choice. There is genetic information. You look the way you look, I look the way I look, this is genetic information. But how we use this, how we feel about it, how we think about it, how we act upon it is essentially ours. Whether we get trapped in this genetic information or we rise above this and make use of this genetic information is left to us. So this transformation is always possible. Yogic sciences are fundamentally focused towards this, because when we talk about a human being can become liberated, what we are saying is, liberation is from the burden of memory. Memory is just not conscious memory alone. Every cell in your body carries evolutionary memory, genetic memory, karmic memory, articulate and inarticulate forms of memory, conscious and unconscious forms of memory. All these memories together make you a body of memory, and that determines how you are right now. If you rise above that, if that does not decide who you are right now, then we say you're liberated. So, the whole science of yoga is always focused towards this liberation, that the past should not determine who you are. If your parentage determines who you are, you have not lived your life. You have just been an offspring. Like any other creature, you're an offspring. You're not a human being. It is only to this one species that we attach the word being, because all other creatures are ruled by their memory. We can choose how to be right now. It doesn't matter who my grandmother was, but I can choose how I want to be right now. This other creatures don't have. They will go by their evolutionary and genetic memory, they have no freedom to rise above that. So this is why we are a being, because we can decide how to be. If we did decide how to be, then I'm asking both of you a simple question. If you had a choice how to be, would you choose to be blissful or miserable?
Blissful.
Yes.
Of course.
Jonathan sometimes wants to be miserable.
No, that is… maybe you're religious then.
I have a follow-up question. First of all, that's so beautifully said, and what you're talking about takes an amount of effort that I think a lot of people, especially in our modern day and age, people are often resistant to.